blessings to you. My name is Jere B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. Today we want to talk about appropriate pricing for younger bands. Been in some conversation, asked the question from bands who don't have much exposure or experience. Well, they're just getting out and getting started. How much should we charge? And so I'm going to unpack that. I definitely want to hear from you because I think I'm in the neighborhood of giving great advice here, but you can correct me. I'm looking to see what you have to say specifically in this video about that, because here's the thing. I'm going to try to do it in a way that does not state any dollar value. That's going to be hard, but I don't want to state dollars and cents because A, I don't want to scare anybody off like, oh, we can't be charging that much money, and then B, I don't want to put a dollar amount there and others go, wow, that's way too little. So I want to kind of unpack the criteria of how I think you should approach charging for your act without saying, oh, it's $500 or it's $5,000. Can you dig it? But before we do that, let's do this. As you know, all of our videos are sponsored by the wonderful people at Vocal. Vocal is the only beverage on the planet which is designed to soothe, refresh, and restore your voice. If you talk all day or sing all night, you gotta get yourself some Vocal. Go to drinkvocal.com to learn more. Okay, appropriate pricing. The first thing that I think is good for criteria is that you predetermine what your value is. Now, it's pretty interesting when you do that because my wife is a realtor, and she reminds me that the value of a thing is not what you say it is, it's what people are willing to pay for it. People want to sell their house for a couple $100,000, but that's not what people want to pay for it. Yet at the same time, there are parameters that she and other realtors use, to decide the marketing value, the comps in the area. And so when you as a band are just going forward, you have to look at the parameters. You have to look at your geographical location. You have to look at what other bands may be charging who are on the same level as you, or what they are getting paid. And then you have to determine your worth. You have to ask questions like, well, are we a cover band? Are we an original band? Is our goal to just get our music out and we're not going to play any covers? But our music is streaming and we've garnered so many streams, or we've sold this much music, we've sold the CDs, or we were able to work with a radio promoter and we've got some airplay in this area. All of those are going to be factors in determining your worth. How many fans do you know you have? How large is your email list? You do have a degree of responsibility in bringing people into Joe's Cafe. So how do you sell that and say, well, when Joe's offering this, you can counter by saying, we're going to bring this much more value to the stage, and so we're kind of bartering for that. The second thing is configuration. And configuration is, say, for example, you have a 6-piece band. Let's just say you have a 6-piece band, and your number one goal is wanting to get your name out there. So you get your name out there and you go, well, how can we make this amount? But the gig, it's a pretty important gig, but we can't make what we need to. Have you thought about reconfiguring the band? My band, Sound Doctrine, has done this, many times, using that 6 to 7 man focus when it was a jazz festival and we knew the budget was up to par. Then everybody went out on stage. But early on, we talked about, well, if it only pays this, then we're going to do the Sound Doctrine Trio. or we'll do the Sound Doctrine Quartet or the Sound Doctrine Quintet or whatever, to make sure that we were still getting the name out. But it's a real interesting situation, because there are conversations as well. I didn't do that gig, I didn't do that gig, I didn't do that gig. How do you factor that in? So you want to have those conversations early on with your band, with your team, to say, in order for us to do this, and in 18 months we need to be here, so let's do that. Or you could divide the band up, same name, and play around town. This is 2 trios, or this is a quartet, and this is the unplugged. Be creative, but garner that opportunity to bring in income because of reconfiguration. The other thing, especially with private engagements, don't be afraid to ask, and you have to do it in a savvy way, but don't be afraid to ask about the budget at hand. I know mistake that I made was undercutting what we should have gotten paid, because we say, well, we play for this amount, and they go, oh, no problem. They had a budget way up here, and I wasn't intelligent enough at the time to ask. So I'll do that in a way. Well, what is your budget for this particular event, especially if I'm working with an event coordinator, or if there's a situation again where it's a private event. Find out, if you can, what that event coordinator or what the event planner usually pays, and what their budget may be for that particular event, and then rise to the occasion. That's the best way to put it. Another thing is really seeing how much value you can add to a situation where, again, in a private situation, a person is asking for, well, do you know a DJ, or we need a juggler, or we really want the lighting to be this, that, or the other. I have developed a friendship with a gentleman named Kerry Rayburn, who does a lot of private gigs, and he says, he says, say yes and then go do your homework to make it happen. So my brother-in-law's a DJ. I know such and such down the road who's a lighting director. I know this person who can do that, and then become that guy that the people think about, or that girl, I apologize, that people think about when they think about an event. They think about you, because you're not only able to bring them live entertainment, you've brought them this person, that person, that person as well. And so you become the one-stop shopping for them, which increases your value. So there are creative ways to affect appropriate pricing, with regard to where you are and the promotion that you need to get up the ladder, and to make sure that you are getting what you need in the process. I hope I'm explaining that correctly. I'm going to let this video go as is, because I really do want to hear what you put on the table, especially if you're a younger band or you have more questions. And if you're an experienced band and you say, well, I think we could go like this, and we shouldn't be involved in that, or a more concrete approach is to do this, that, or the other. So leave your comments below, like, subscribe, share this video and others that we've done here on this channel. Obviously, visit us at EntreMusician.com. Avail yourself to the resources, join the community, join the dialogue. This is where we engage, encourage, and empower everyone. So blessings to you. Much love. My name is Jere B. I am the EntreMusician, and so are you. We will see you next time.